welcome back to another coffee and a chat. I think, it's Grandma this morning. this this usually means it's early morning. The wood stove hasn't been pumped up yet for the day, and it's just down to the embers from last night. And it's very early, and the sun hasn't come up, and so it's an early morning today. Um, but that's okay. I kind of like them. So I thought today I just want to chat for a couple of minutes with you, and just share some of my thoughts and ideas. First off, I had a surge in subscribers. A surge for me. Okay, like I got like seven or eight or something like that. I think in 24 hours. I don't know. Maybe it was only six, but for me, that's a surge. And so I just want to welcome the new subscribers and thank you for subscribing. And I hope that you find some encouragement and it's just real here, raw and real, unedited. It just, you get what you get. And I like to be able to share some of my stories from over my life and lessons I've learned. I share some of the stupid things I've done, mistakes I've made, and all of that too. So this morning, for those of you that have been here for a little bit, my neighbor across the road, in not quite 2 weeks ago now, her only son, her only child, passed away very unexpectedly. And it's been very traumatic for her. And so many of you have sent messages. Some of you have sent them in email, and I forwarded those to her. And some have left little thoughts and whatnot in the comments. Now, people have been asking me how she's doing, and some of you, know me personally, and so your comments a lot of times have been made in person. But there have been some that in the comments have asked how she's doing. I've had some emails asking how she's doing, and some of you that I know in person have asked me how she's doing. So, how's anybody doing when they're at this point in their life? It's rough. It's really rough, but we can only imagine how rough it must be. Some of you have had these experiences yourself, and with a child. I mean, we've all suffered loss, I'm sure, but each loss is different. I've never lost a child. Praise the Lord, and I hope I never know what that's like. But I can imagine how painful it would be. I know what I watched my parents go through when my brother passed away, and it's, to me, that's got to be one of the worst things that could possibly happen, because you're not supposed to outlive your children. So she's still crying, of course, and she's still struggling. And as happens most of the time when we're grieving hard, a great loss, is our immune system drops down. So we tend to get sick. And I know that I've always, at the very least, gotten a cold whenever I've lost somebody that I love. And so Gail's physically ill, under the weather right now. I'm checking on her and hoping each day that she's getting a little stronger, a little better. But she's hanging in there. And I believe she's trusting God to get her through this. I know I'm trusting Him to do it. And so what I wanted to share, though, was yesterday, because she's way behind on videos, of course, because she always watches all my videos. But being that she's not been feeling well, she's spending a lot of time in bed crying and not feeling well. And she, I think it was yesterday, told me she was trying to get caught up on videos, so she was doing binge watching. And she noticed in the comments that on one of the videos that somebody had asked how she was doing, and that really touched her. And that meant a lot to her. And I started, I was thinking about it. When somebody has a loss, one of the worst things that that it seems we can say is, oh, I'm so sorry. I know what you're going through. Because usually you get the comeback, especially when it's something this tender, that you have no idea what I'm going through. And, and then it's like we feel terrible that, I didn't mean that. I'm trying to be supportive. But you know how it is that sometimes no matter what you say, you can't say the right thing, and you want to so bad because we want to comfort those that are hurting. We want to show our support, and yet what do you say? You can't fix anything. And I remember that, that day when Brandon did pass away, I think it was one of the paramedics saying, is there anything I can do for you? And she's like, bring my son back. I mean, yeah, that's all you want, is that person that you've lost, is you, especially when it's something like this that was so unexpected, and you want them back. But nobody's going to bring them back. It's death is so final and so hard. But every time one of you guys has left a message for Gail, that's really blessed her. When I've just asked her how she's doing, it seems to bless her. And then when she sees in the comments that somebody's going, hey, how's Gail doing? It blessed her. I think when we're going through a really hard time, there's not anything anybody can do to fix it, or anything they can say that's going to make it okay. But just knowing people care. I think that's what we need, is knowing that there's somebody out there who really genuinely, sincerely cares. So thank you guys for loving Gail, and for saying that, those of you that are praying for her. And that's another thing that, that's made me think about, if I tell you that I'm praying for you, oh, I'm praying for you. And I have my prayer journal, and I write down the names of the people I'm praying for. I always pray for you for a minimum of 40 days. I go longer if the Lord tells me to go longer. I've got people that are just permanently in there because they're family, or super close friends that are sometimes closer than family. Those are the people that I do life with, that, we're connected for life till death do us part. And you're always, if you're one of those people in my life, then you're always in my prayer journal. And I try to pray every single day. And I usually do. Occasionally something has happened, and the next day I realize, oh, I didn't get into my little prayer closet. I didn't get my scriptures read. I didn't get my praying done, but that is very rare now. But it used to be. So when I tell you I'm praying for you, I really am. I'm not just saying it. But there was a time in my life when I used to tell people, I'm praying for you. And it was just something to say. It wasn't necessarily something I was really doing. And God really convicted my heart about that. Don't tell somebody you're praying for them unless you're really praying for them. It's not just something you say to wish somebody well, or to try to make them feel better. But prayer is powerful, you guys. It is so powerful. And it is so real. God is not, I've said this before, he's not a concept. He's not an imaginary being. He's real. And he is the creator of everything. And yet, because of Jesus Christ, I can talk to him. I can talk to the creator of the universe. I can go to the one who really does hold the answers for whatever I'm going through. And when the answer is, I'm sorry for your loss, he has a way of comforting us and getting us through it. I know that of I've had a lot. I've had several that were really significant, but probably the most recent, very significant loss that I had is my dad. And I was okay with the fact that, he was getting up there in years. He had Alzheimer's. He was not in the best of health. But yet when he died, I wasn't expecting it. And he just was gone, and I found him. And that did some stuff to me. I was running super low blood pressure for several months. I tend to have low blood pressure anyway, but I mean scary low for several months. And I just think it was the shock of it all, and it just was too much. But yet, when I would talk to God about it and share with him what I was feeling and sob and cry and laugh at happy memories and stuff, made all the difference in the world. It brought me comfort to be able to pour my heart out to the Lord like that. So prayer is an important thing, and we should never tell people, just say we're praying for them, unless we really are praying for them, and we should be praying for them. So that was another thought that I was having in the wee hours this morning. And then the other one, I checked out some channels of some of the new subscribers. I haven't got to all of them yet, because I don't always know, unless YouTube tells me who a subscriber is. I don't know, because most of y'all keep your subscriptions private, and occasionally there's some public ones, and I can go check. Well, I hadn't looked through the public file on my channel, my studio part of it, or whatever. I don't know, it's too early. But I was looking through last night, and I saw a couple on there that I hadn't gone, and so I went and looked at their channels, and when I find somebody who's on there and you have a channel of your own, especially if you're sharing about the Lord, I subscribe, and and I watch your videos, and so last night before I went to bed, I was having, I don't know, I've been so tired lately, and then last night I couldn't get sleepy, and so I went to bed kind of late, but so I was sitting there looking at these channels and watching some of you sharing your testimonies and sharing scriptures that mean something to you, and yeah, it's just, it's a huge blessing. And and I thought again, last night I was thinking how important it is for us to be sharing our faith, and how I'm seeing more and more people doing that on social media, rather than, there's some people that all they do is they're trying to, on YouTube, is they just want to build this big channel and make $1 million. Don't know that you're going, I suppose some of them do make really, really good money, but it's kind of like with businesses in life, most businesses they just kind of hang in there, and and they do okay, but they're not like the big $1 million whatever. And I think that's with YouTube channels too. When people do start making money, it's not big money. It's something that's more than what you had, but it's not, thousands of dollars. It's definitely not millions of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's hundreds of dollars, at best. And I'm not talking a month, I'm talking a year. And some people, excuse me, don't even make $100 in a year. So, but yet there are people that, they're always looking to make money. And so they're just putting whatever, and some channels, their whole channel is using other people's content to build their channel, with shorts and stuff. So, and I've said before, that's not what my purpose is here. That's not my desire. It would be nice to make a little money. Could sure use it. That's for sure. But, I found out yesterday that our cell phone bill, that because taxes have gone up, that our monthly charges have gone up about $1 per phone, roughly. And, and I was like, oh no, and I'm sure the gal, when I called to see what's going on, why was my bill more? And she's probably like, honey, it's only a little under $2. What are you worried about? Well, you guys, that $2 has to come from someplace. And when the cell phone wants $2 more, and the electric company wants $5 more, and and it all starts adding up. And property taxes are getting ready to go up where I live, and should be getting a notice here in another month or so of my new taxes that will start in July, and which means my house payment will go up. And yeah, I have to take it out of the grocery bill every time something goes up. And that grocery, and the amount of money we have a month for grocery and gas and all, it's pretty pathetic to begin with. In fact, it wouldn't work. God takes care of us. But, it's like, man, that's another $24 a year I've got to come up with, so. And Social Security didn't get that big a boost this year. So anyhow, I know there are people that, they just want to make money. And then, I don't have Facebook anymore. I used to. And then several years ago, the Lord told me to just shut it down, because Facebook was a place where it was becoming more and more a place where people would go to attack me because of going through a divorce. And, divorce wasn't my idea. And, and when somebody wants to move on and do something new and not do it with you, I had been fighting for that marriage for over 30 years. And honestly, while it was a horrible thing to go through, I hate divorce. I never, ever would have believed that I would be divorced, but life happens. And what God has done in healing me and pulling me through that, and where He's brought me to now, is a much better place. So, and I don't say much about my divorce, because I don't want to hurt my kids. I don't want to hurt my grandkids, and I don't want to trash on my husband, my first husband. And so, and he's no longer with us. So he passed away. And, I really loved him, and I really wanted to be with him till death do us part. So that was painful, but people can be cruel in that. We were in the public eye. And so, and he was, very charismatic, very charming. And so there were a lot of people, and there were a lot of rumors spread about me that weren't true, that did not put me in a very good light. And I remember at times I would try to defend myself when I would run into somebody and they'd be like, oh, I heard this, and, I'd be like, that's not true. And I don't even know why people would say it. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever been there, but the more I tried to defend myself, the worse it seemed to make it. Because when people are looking at something through a certain lens, when that lens has already been filtered. I've seen that with politics, is, people, they don't like somebody, that is in office or something. And we went through it with our last president, we're going through it with this president, and people say, oh, he said this, he said that, or whatever. And I am a person, because of going through it myself and people saying things about me, that I want to go back. And so they'll say, oh, in his last speech, he, So I'll look at the last speech. Now, you could twist it into what people were saying it was, if you were looking through it with that lens that, this person is this certain way. But a lot of times, people are stretching for stuff. And I think that I think this is what I fell victim to too, is people listen to what other people are saying. They don't even go find out for themselves. Of all the accusations that were made against me, you could count on one hand the people that I had supporting me in my life, that had known both of us. You could count that on one hand. And it and that's not very much when there's thousands that are involving themselves in things, and people that didn't even know us, but they get caught up in the gossip and everything. So excluding those, because they stayed close to me and talk to me and let me share my heart with them, and they knew who I was and where I was and what I was doing. But there were others that I thought were my friends that just automatically believed the rumors they heard. And one person, one ever came to me and said, now I heard this from your ex-husband. And I thought, that does not sound like Angie. So, if that's what you did, I mean, we all make mistakes. We all, we all sin, we all fail, we all have problems, and I still love you and I'd forgive you. And, and our relationship's not over. But, I thought, I need to ask you. And I was like, thank you, because that is absolutely not true. And, yeah, but disappointing that it was just one. And it's just people are so quick to listen to what somebody else says and then believe it's true. And that is very dangerous. I've learned that in many ways. Even growing up in church, believing things because that's what the pastor said, or my Sunday school teacher said, or, or whatever. Yeah, you need to go find out for yourself. Don't believe something. And I still struggle with that. I still catch myself just believing something because somebody told me. And it's like, no, I need to do the research myself, or I need to go to that person myself. Or is this even any of my business? That's the other thing. People love the drama. So, yeah. Just had a thing recently with somebody that somebody said something, and their whole world came to an end. And what they had been told was so not true. And so they finally were able to find that out, and now everything's okay again. But yeah, they were ready to give up on life because of what somebody else said. You guys, we need to be a lot wiser in the things we do. We need to find things out for ourselves. We need to not believe things because some preacher said it. I mean, I see it all the time. People going, well, this is the key to this, or this is the key to that. And they have their little sermon that they want to give you. And it's like, that does not hold up in Scripture. You open your Bible and search for it yourself, because you're not only misleading yourself, but you're misleading other people who are listening to you, who don't know any better. I I have a fit sometimes with things. There are certain little things that pastors will say. The good word says, and they'll quote something that is not in the Bible. One of them, well, the Lord helps them that helps themselves. No, that's not in the Word of God. God won't give you any more than you can handle. No, that's a misquote. I believe they're misquoting where it says that He won't allow us to be tempted beyond what we're able to say no. But it doesn't promise He won't give us more than we can handle. Sometimes life is more than you can handle. Ask Gail. Right now, her life is more than what she can handle. But God's going to get her through. You see, that's the thing, is I have been through some things that was way more, and God allowed it to be there, but He didn't leave me alone flopping around in it. He was there for me, and He took me through it, and He actually brought me out a better person than what I was when I went in. And Gail's she's going to be okay. She will never be what it was. But she will be okay, because God will give her the strength she needs, and He will use this in Gail's life to be able to impact other people's lives. It's going to take time, because right now it's about her pain and feeling that and grieving and her loss. But He will turn it into something good. He promises to, and that is in His Word. So, but I'm not going to tell you where, because you need to go find out yourself. I'm not going to tell you where, because I'm too tired to go look it up right now. Sun's starting to come up. I've been ranting for 25 minutes. Yeah, I think that's good. I feel better. Sometimes we just, and that's that first point. Sometimes we just need somebody to care. We just need somebody to listen. So if you've held with me the whole way through here, thank you for loving me enough and caring enough to listen to my little thoughts this morning. They're not really a rant, but they're thoughts. Sometimes we just need to get those out. And I truly do love every single one of you. And tomorrow's video will probably be some great story. I hope it's one that has us all laughing and in stitches, because that's my favorite place to be. One of the things I was my Thanksgiving video, I had thanked Marvin for many things, and it I sat on the couch crying while he watched it. Because I am so blessed with Marvin, so blessed. But one of the things that I didn't mention, and as I was sitting on the couch, I go, oh, I should have said that, is this man makes me laugh every single day, no matter what's going on, even when times are hard, even when my heart might be broken. He has a way of just saying something that gets a little laughter out of me. And there's been a couple of times I've been able to get a little laugh out of Gail. We need that. Laughter is healing. So today, try to build somebody up. Try to encourage someone. Try to make somebody laugh. And don't forget to laugh yourself. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say it's time for me to get my day going. So I love you. I'm going to be right back here tomorrow with something. I'm not sure what. We'll see what God gives me. But until then, you have a great day. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.